Close your eyes and listen. Hear the rustle of millions of leaves swaying in the wind, the gurgling of hidden springs, and the distant cry of exotic birds. We stand at the heart of the ancient forest, a majestic living entity that has existed for millennia. But today, our story does not begin on the damp forest floor where shadows linger. We look upward, to the highest tiers where the morning sun pours down like liquid gold. Here, on highways woven from vines and branches, a small but extraordinary life unfolds. Look there, from the hollow of an ancient oak, a small pink nose twitches in the air. Its owner emerges, fur glowing like burnished copper in the light. This is the squirrel, one of nature's most agile spirits. What do you see? A cute creature? Perhaps. But you are also looking at a perfect survival machine. Look at those eyes. Set on the sides of the head, they provide a panoramic view of nearly 360 degrees. Not a single predator's movement, not a breath of wind goes unnoticed. And those feet, a masterpiece of evolution. With claws curved like scythes, the squirrel grips the roughest bark, defiantly mocking gravity. Its ankle joints are so flexible, they can rotate 180 degrees, allowing it to plummet down vertical trunks head first at speeds that would baffle an Olympic sprinter. But the ultimate secret weapon is the tail. It is not just a fuzzy ornament. It is the balancing pole of a tightrope artist, a paraglider for long leaps, and the silent language used to speak to the world. At this altitude, the wind bites hard. To survive, the squirrel must be a master architect. Its home, called a dray, is perched in the sturdiest forks of the trees. The squirrel doesn't just gather dry twigs. It meticulously selects fibers of moss and soft bark to line the interior, creating perfect insulation. During stormy nights when the trees groan and bend, this small fortress remains the warmest, most peaceful sanctuary. From here, it looks down upon the world with a strange confidence. A new day has begun, and the green world beyond is calling it into the race for survival. As light pierces the canopy, the squirrel's workday begins. For a creature with a heart rate of up to 600 beats per minute, energy is more precious than anything. Hunger is a stern teacher, forcing the squirrel to leave its safety zone. Every leap is a calculation precise to the millimeter. It never travels in a straight line, for a straight line is the easiest path to be spotted. It zigzags from branch to branch, a red spark flickering through the deep green. Today's objective? Mature hazelnuts, the gold of the forest. The squirrel is a connoisseur. It uses its keen sense of smell to inspect the hard shells. A single crack or a hint of mold, and the nut is discarded. It selects only the finest, the most fat-rich treasures to fuel a body that never stops moving. But eating for today is not enough. The law of the forest is, to have today is no guarantee for tomorrow. The squirrel is a long-term investor. When the harvest is bountiful, a massive stockpiling campaign begins. You will see it frantically digging hundreds of small holes across the forest floor. Each seed buried is a beacon of hope for the harsh winter ahead. The miracle lies in its brain. A squirrel's brain actually grows in size during the harvest season. It uses a technique called spatial chunking, burying walnuts in one area and acorns in another. Even when the forest sheds its leaves and snow blankets the earth, the squirrel finds its treasure with startling accuracy. It relies not just on smell, but on a sophisticated 3D map etched into its mind. However, it is not the only squirrel in the woods. Competition is fierce. Endless chases erupt when a rival encroaches on a cache. Rapid chatter fills the air like gunfire, the language of fury. Sometimes, they even use deception. A squirrel will pretend to bury a nut in one spot to trick a watcher, only to sneak the real prize away to a secret location. A true psychological war hidden beneath a playful exterior. The sky suddenly falls into a terrifying silence. The small birds stop singing and the wind dies down. The squirrel freezes, one paw suspended in midair. Instinct whispers, death is watching. High above, amidst the clouds, a hawk with a massive wingspan circles. Its eyes, like twin telescopes, are locked onto the small red shadow below. The battle begins not with sound, but with speed. The hawk dives like an arrow piercing the atmosphere. The squirrel doesn't run straight. It begins a jagged dance of survival. It plunges into the thickest foliage, where the hawk's wingspan becomes a liability. Just as the talons come within inches, the squirrel spins around the tree trunk. In this game, if your heart skips a single beat, it is over. Danger does not only strike from the heavens. Beneath the leaf litter, a cobra waits patiently. This reptile hunts not by sight, but by heat. The squirrel knows this. Instead of fleeing, it sometimes chooses a brave confrontation. It fluffs its tail and waves it rhythmically to create a false heat signature, confusing the snake's sensors. It stands just out of reach, barking a loud alarm to warn the entire forest. Small does not mean cowardly. The squirrel fights with intellect and agility. In this moment, the squirrel becomes a sentinel for the Green Kingdom. Its calls are coded, different sounds for threats from the air versus those from the ground. Thanks to its vigilance, deer grazing in the distance lift their heads and birds take flight. In the face of death, this tiny creature serves as a vital link protecting the life of the entire forest community. Once the danger passes and the evening sun paints the trees in shades of violet, the squirrel returns to its most sacred duty, the continuation of its kind. Within the warm dray, new lives have begun. Squirrel pups are born tiny, hairless, and blind to the vibrant world outside. The mother squirrel envelops them with all her love and protective instinct. She never wanders too far, alert to the slightest sound. In their first weeks, the pups know only the scent of milk and the warmth of the nest. But soon, they must learn their first lesson, the lesson of height. We see scenes both humorous and touching as they practice climbing, slipping, sliding, and trembling, until the ancestral instinct of the acrobat takes hold, lifting them to new heights. Time passes and the squirrel grows old, but its legacy is eternal. Did you know that millions of oak and nut trees across this planet grew from the forgetfulness of squirrels? Seeds buried but never retrieved begin to sprout, driving roots deep into the earth and reaching branches toward the sky. The squirrel does not live for itself alone. Every nut it buries is a gift to the future, for its offspring and for the forest that nurtured it. Without these nimble footsteps, the forest would grow thin and wither. Squirrels are the world's greatest gardeners, working without pay and never asking for glory. The moon begins to rise, replacing the radiant sun. The forest transforms. Our squirrel is now curled in its nest, its tail draped over its body like a velvet blanket. It sleeps a deep sleep after a long day of struggle and contribution. A squirrel's life may be small, and it may be forgotten in the flow of time, but it is the most powerful testament to the beauty of survival. Small but fierce, solitary but connected to the entire ecosystem. Tomorrow, when the sun rises, a new race will begin. New seeds will be sown, and the song of the kingdom above will echo forever. Thank you for joining us on this journey through the emerald canopy. To meet the silent heroes of the